evening, all you Minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, and my lovely co-host, the Uncanny Omar.
Yes, I am the Uncanny Omar. Thank you for introducing me, my wonderful hostess with the mostest, whatever. This is Reelz Talk, Near Mint Condition. It's our Friday night talk where we get to talk about MCU movies, DCEU movies. Paper Girls just came out today. I saw the first episode.
Oh, you got a chance? I did not get a chance to watch anything.
My review so far? Man, I don't know if they have faith in that product. They released all the episodes today.
No, on Amazon?
Yeah, on Amazon, which is a shame, which means that they either don't have faith in the product. That CG they used in the first episode is a little rough, but I'm waiting to watch it all. I enjoyed the comics, so I'm curious to see what they did with it. But today we are talking about something huge.
Yes.
Something big. We're still riding high on the coattails of last weekend's announcement at San Diego Comic-Con with Phase 5. So let's do a little recap of that, because you got to hear my thoughts, but you didn't get to hear this lovely lady's thoughts.
That's true. I could not be on that show, and I apologize for that, guys, because I'm sure you all wanted to hear my 2 cents of what was announced for Phase 5. And, of course, the Morbius Saga announcement. That's what we're talking about.
Yep. Did somebody already mention Morbius? What?
Yes. Blaz, yeah.
Blaz, come on now. Nobody's here to talk about Morbius. I haven't seen Harley Quinn season 3 yet. I need to catch up. I've only seen season 1. But here we have what Phase 5 is going to look like. And holy crap. We know Phase 4 ends with Wakanda Forever. And Phase 5 begins with Quantumania and ends with Thunderbolts. So we have a whole slew of movies. Daredevil is it's insane. It's like 18 episodes long. That means
is amazing.
How many months is that, Amanda? Like
how many months? Because that's right, because it's going to come out one at a time.
If it's once a week, how many months of Daredevil?
That's almost like it's reminding me of almost a regularly scheduled cable network show, almost the way it's coming out. Now, have they definitively said all 18 episodes are going to still follow a weekly format? Do we know that for certain, or are they going to maybe do something a little bit different?
Are you asking me? Let me ask my expert. Hey, amazing Amanda, do you know?
Okay. Well,
that's who I usually ask. No, we don't. You're absolutely right. We don't know if it's going to follow a format that we're used to, or if it's going to be something like, oh, well, we'll take a break here for a couple of months and come back. So,
well, what if they do like what they did, what Netflix did with Stranger Things, where they half it and they do like the first 9 episodes and then the back 9 and take a break for Christmas. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's a spring. So that's a possibility, actually.
I would like to see this, what Daniel's saying, 2 episodes, or what Scarface is saying, 2 episodes a week would be so awesome.
That would be amazing.
18 episodes is so good to be true. Charlie Cox back, and also our Kingpin is back too.
Yeah, so Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm so excited to see them.
Here's the real question. Are the episodes going to be 30 minutes a piece, or are they going to be an hour long?
I bet they'll be what I would say is 45 minutes a piece. More along the lines of how some Obi-Wan and them were not 30 minutes. They were a little bit more than that, right? Or some of the other Marvel shows were about 40 minutes. So I bet it'll be somewhere in that sweet spot, which since we're getting...
Is that where the sweet spot is?
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense when you think about a hour-long network drama in the old days. I mean, I know people still have cable. Anyone who has cable and still watches regularly scheduled programming on a cable network, raise your hand in the chat. But if you do, you know that an hour show is really only 45 minutes when you take out commercials. So
right, of course.
I think that's,
streaming services have changed that.
Yes.
When I watch Virgin River season 4, I know each episode is over an hour long, and I look forward to it every single time.
I have a shirt for Omar. I'm getting him too. He's going to wear it on the show. Virgin River.
Is it going to be as violent as the Netflix series? I think the fact that they added Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan to Disney Plus gives me high hopes that there's going to be a section for adult stuff. I'm not talking Skinamax. I'm talking adult violence and language. So
I mean, and they already put Daredevil, the original series from Netflix, on there as well. So we already knew this was going to come. So I don't think that they're going to dial back the gratuitous. I don't say gratuitous, but the violence just for the sake of Disney.
I can't see them doing that either. No. But 10 episodes, I believe, right, Amanda? There were 10 episodes each on Netflix of Daredevil.
Yes, I think, yeah, exactly. What? We're there. I thought there were more.
Oh, I thought it was 10 episodes.
Maybe it was 10 episodes.
All right. 13 episodes each for Daredevil.
There you go,
apparently,
okay, so it's a little bit more.
Remember squat.
Yeah, that's why I kind of think they're going to half the season for some reason, because kind of like Stranger Things didn't take like December off, or I don't know, something like that.
Do we think the original cast will be back? I think the original, Charlie Cox, right? Mm-hmm. Which is excellent. Kingpin, Vincent
D'Onofrio.
Thank you. And Foggy Nelson will probably
come back. I think he'll be back, and I think that the actress who plays Karen will be back as well.
The only one that I heard is going to be replaced, and it's a rumor right now, is the lady that played Elektra, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to switch somebody out, I'd rather they switch out Elektra than, Charlie Cox's Daredevil. No offense.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, or even his supporting cast, because the chemistry between him, the actor who plays Foggy, and the actress who plays Karen Page is so wonderful that I would hate to see that try to be broken by replacing the character.
They were really good together. And then I heard a rumor that what's his name was coming back too. The guy that played Punisher. So this is rumors right now.
That'd be amazing.
I really like that guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now, one thing that we talked about the last time when Amanda wasn't here, though, I'm out of curiosity, Panda, what's the movie what is the thing in Phase 5 you're most excited for?
In Phase 5?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's probably for me going to be Blade, because it is the property that intrigues me the most of where it's going to fit in to the overall thematic arc of the Multiverse saga. Obviously, Guardians, Loki season 2, the Marvels, I can kind of see where they're going. Daredevil, Echo are following, like Kevin Feige said, his street heroes with Spider-Man. And of course, I'm assuming Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye at some point. And of course, I kind of get an idea of where Captain America New World Order will come into play, because that looks like it's going to lead into Thunderbolts. I would imagine that makes the most sense to me, considering a lot of the Thunderbolt characters we have seen, or some of them we've already seen in the Falcon Winter Soldier. So Blade is the one that intrigues me the most, because I don't know where they're taking it. I know that Kit Harington is going to be having a role in it, because I know he's supposed to be having a role in it. I know we've talked about Midnight Suns, and we've talked about the possibility of Moon Knight showing back up, and Ghost Rider. And so Blade is what intrigues me the most right now, because I don't know what to expect. Guardians is the end of the end. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I
will say I'm a little surprised by that answer. Good.
Why?
Good choice. No, solid choice. Seriously, solid choice. Mm-hmm. I hope Wesley Snipes plays a role in it, like he plays Whistler. That would be freaking awesome.
That would be great.
Or, you know what would be awesome if Wesley Snipes plays his tax guy, like the guy that's doing his taxes. I think that would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
Hilarious. No, don't see that. Okay, my bad.
He'll be the new Stan Lee, making random cameos.
I thought it was funny. My bad. How do you top Wesley Snipes' R-rated Blade? Well, you remember Blade 3, and you top that. You forget,
which we still have to do. It wasn't really that bad.
God, that movie was horrible.
Ryan Reynolds.
Blade 2 was excellent. Blade 1 has some crappy CG, but holy crap, I still love that movie. Like that whole when he acts as Wesley Snipe and not as Blade, when the dude shoots him and he's like, he looks at him and he was like, MFer. I can't do it right now because I haven't drank enough. I love that. But Wesley Snipes as Dracula. How have I not thought about that? That's a great idea.
Oh yeah, wasn't the rumor that that Anthony Starr was going to be Dracula? Because that was we did that episode the week before about all the rumors that were flying around about what was going to happen at Comic-Con, And one of them was they're going to announce Tony Starr, who plays Homelander in The Boys, as Dracula, which is not a bad gig, but I can totally see it.
I don't know. For me, I'm rooting for Thunderbolts. That's the movie I'm most excited for. That's
We
the
talk about it a lot.
out of this, like it's something I never thought I would see in the theater. What the hell, Thunderbolts the movie? How am I living in this world? That's amazing.
I agree. Yeah.
I was talking to a good friend of mine about like the Phase 4 and how it hasn't been that great, and also we both didn't enjoy Thor, but the last movie, the Love and Thunder. But then like taking a step back and remembering that age of like being 12 years old and saying, "Holy crap, we have 4 Thor movies in the theater." That's insane. That to me is insane. All right, so today. That's what I was thinking, man. Bring back Wesley as Whistler. Amanda did not agree with Wesley Snipes as the tax guy. I thought that was a funny joke, but she didn't appreciate it. You think the Thunderbolts movie will be a team up against another Marvel heroes, or will the Thunderbolts be taking on actual world threat? I don't know if it's gonna. I hope they don't make it like Suicide Squad and make it like the twist in the comics. Which, if you've not read the comics, I'm not gonna give that away. Because I fear that that's what's going to happen with this particular team. They're going to try to make it something like Marvel's Suicide Squad when it's really not. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll have something to do with whatever happens in Captain America: New World Order is going to funnel directly into the creation of the Thunderbolts. What if Captain America runs the Thunderbolts? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. Who knows? Bucky runs it.
I don't remember if we did our episode where we casted the Thunderbolts. I can't remember if we did or not.
We have to go back. We casted the Young Avengers. We casted the Young Avengers. I brought in, because we talked about Iron Lad, which I have not yet.
What happens when you drink and cast, man? Drinking and casting, like, it's just like...
So yeah, we always talk about wanting to cast it. We've talked about it in episodes where we talked about who we'd see in the Thunderbolts.
Really? Did we talk about it like... Maybe we talked about it face to face. If we haven't, I would love to do that because I think that's really fun. But today, what are we talking about today, Amanda?
We're talking about Phase 6. So, and what our predictions are, obviously we know they announced 3 major movies to finish out what they call the Multiverse Saga.
We did do the Thunderbolts Dark
Fate. Amanda? Thank you, Griffinix.
Thank you, Griffin.
I'm so glad you could remember what we do because we do not. Did we also do one for Young Avengers? Do you remember that? Because I do remember talking about it because I remember Iron Lad.
You did a good chunk of an episode cast. Okay. Right.
And this
is she's got a show with somebody else, and I know I don't, but I didn't know if she had done that or not, or if
we're gonna have to cycle back and then see if our predictions were right. That'd be a really fun episode.
So wrong. I want to see Phase 6, Incredible Hulk 2, Adam Warlock, and Ghost Rider. All right. Let's have some fun today, and I'm going to keep an eye on the chat as we do this. So today, what we're going to do one by one, Amanda and I have chosen the list of 8 movies or TV shows that are going to fill up those missing slots in Phase 6. Now, we know it's just a few months away from D23, which I'm assuming is
1 month.
1 month. Holy crap. Which I'm sure that's when we're going to get the answer. So let's see who's closer.
Maybe. Yeah.
Now, not only did we fill in the missing movies and TV shows, but we also put them where we think they're going to go. Now, we both have different lists. This was a lot of fun to put together. So here's Phase 6. This is what Phase 6 looks like right now. Let me remove the near mint.
Next, you can't see it's the Secret Wars. Yes. And yeah, so now this is the Phase 6 timeline that was given to us.
We also did Young Avengers.
Yeah, okay. We did.
Thank you all. Thank you. Drinking plus casting plus YouTube. Wow.
I think Omar's just can't get over his Thunderbolts casting, so he wants to always talk about it.
It was that good. It was that I was so on point.
What's really happening here. So this is the Phase 6 timeline they were given to us. And so obviously we see the 3 major movies they announced, Fantastic Four, which we already knew was coming because of prior announcements they made. I think they made that announcement at last D23. Is that right? Or was it?
No, I thought it was San Diego Comic-Con in 20.
It was last San Diego Comic-Con when they said Fantastic Four. Probably. It's been a minute since they've done some major announcements in a space, so it's hard for me to remember where that all happens. But yeah, Fantastic Four in November of 2024, and then Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, which we do know will be directed by Daniel Cretton, who was the director for Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, and he'll be directing the Kang Dynasty. And then November 7th of 2025, we'll have Avengers Secret Wars. And what's interesting is I was watching other YouTube channels, and some people are...
What?
I was just watching. I wanted to get an idea of what other people's thoughts are, right?
What?
And someone keeps mentioning, they keep talking about it being the Secret Wars from, is it the 90s or that they did that Secret Wars, or the 80s? Which timeline?
First of all, how dare you? It was the 80s.
The 80s. Okay. And I was like, I don't think, but my impression is it's going to be a Hickman's Secret Wars.
I have theories, but let's get there.
But we'll talk about why I think it's Hickman.
And we're going to talk about why I think.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. Now we're not going to put any animated series in this because, as you guys know, or if you weren't aware, Marvel did.
Sorry, I was answering new Spooky channel. Go ahead.
I know. So Marvel did split their panels. They had an animation panel this time and the big panel with Kevin Feige, right? The animation panel had Ryan Meerding. How do you pronounce his last name?
I'm sorry. What was his name?
Ryan Meerding.
Oh, let me ask my movie expert. Hey, Amazing Amanda.
Okay. Ryan, who's kind of heads up their animation wing for the Marvel Studios, and they announced things like What If Season 2 coming out in 2023. Mm-hmm. And they also mentioned X-Men 97 coming out in 2023. And we noticed on the timeline we were given in the main Marvel panel, those were nowhere to be seen. So we didn't add any potential animated series to these timelines because it looks like they're kind of separating the timelines out in that respect. So we're not adding any animation into Phase 6.
And they've already kind of backtracked what they said about Spider-Man freshman year.
Yes.
It said Spider-Man freshman year was canon. It was the first year of Spider-Man. But as soon as everybody saw the designs of Doc Ock, they were like, well, then how the hell does he not recognize him in No Way Home? And then they were like, oh, we mean that this is part of another universe. What the? And all of a sudden, people lost interest in watching that show.
Yeah, exactly. It was not supposed to be. It was supposed to be our, it would have been cool for our universe.
Was it this gentleman right here, Amanda?
Yes. Yes. Meerding. That's the word. I think I pronounced that right.
Last name. I think you got it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Rob D, I'm about to ban you just for making jokes like that. We don't talk about those New Warriors. Hashtag not my New Warriors. All right, Panda, take us there. What's your first movie lined up and why? What's up, Chris? And I'll be keeping an eye on the chat to see what everybody thinks.
So before I get to the first movie, or the first thing I have is not actually on this list. So if you look at the two timelines, you'll notice that the timeline for Phase 5 ends with Thunderbolts in July of 2024, and there's no mention of any TV series over the summer. Obviously, we know that Marvel will not let that stand, but yet we don't see a notation for any summer 2024 slot for Phase 6. So I think somewhere in there, we're going to get the one project that we all have known was coming, but haven't heard a lot about as far as where it stood production-wise and things like that, and that is the Armor Wars. So it's not on necessarily the timeline that we're given, but I think it's going to end up being placed in the summer of 2024, because if you noticed, there is a weird space where they haven't announced any summer TV series. Yes, they could do a anime, but all that stuff, it makes sense for them to go ahead and have something running on the TV or on the streaming at that time period. So we know that Armor Wars is on deck at some point. According to the showrunner, it is still supposed to be running, because a lot of people were very curious as to why it wasn't listed in Phase 5 or even in the Phase 6. It wasn't listed at all. So I think a lot of people were very curious as to why we weren't seeing any Armor Wars news. And they just had a few delays, and it looks like I think it's going to be somewhere in that summer 2024. So right before the Phase 6 timeline. So I just wanted to get that out there because it's not on the timeline. But I wanted to say that's where I think Armor Wars is going to, head into it. But the first thing.
Well, Phase 4 ends with Wakanda Forever, so it hasn't ended yet. And somebody was asking how we would rate it. And it's really hard to rate right now without it ending because we still have Wakanda Forever. And is that it, Amanda?
Yeah, that's it.
There's no TV show between now.
Yeah, they haven't announced because they haven't announced the Halloween special, right?
And then the Christmas special, the Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Groot,
and then the Guardians of the Galaxy are the only two things I know for sure are coming. But even then, it's hard to say if that's. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, baby, for reminding people to like the smash button.
Yeah, it's hard to say if that's gonna affect my rating or not, honestly.
So, I mean, ups and downs, right? Not every Phase 1 was a hit either.
No, exactly.
Oh wait, She-Hulk. We have She-Hulk coming out.
Yeah, well, that's August, so yeah, so we still have She-Hulk. Good point.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Smash button engaged again. Thank you so much.
Thank
you haven't found Smash button. It's right. It's that little thumbs up. It's just a
little thumbs up.
All right, so let's go ahead and start this party.
Yes. All right. So for the first lineup for Phase 6, I chose the Wonder Man TV show coming out fall of 2024. The reason I did that is because I know it's been casted, or we know they've already they've already got some showrunners helm for it, some directors, and I believe that there are rumors for casting announcements for that as well. So while the casting is still rumors, Henry Golding, if you guys don't know who he is, Crazy Rich Asians, he was in that recent Persuasion adaptation in Netflix that got really bad reviews, but nevertheless it's still Jane Austen, so I'll watch it. And they've been rumored that he's been casted as Wonder Man, and it's going to be a kind of what is this? It's going to be like a different take on kind of mocking superheroes in a way The Boys does, but not as probably as dark as The Boys, right?
I would say not.
It was satirical. That's the word I'm looking for. I kept saying sarcastic, going, no, it's satirical look at superheroes in the MCU.
So is Wonder Man a TV show or is it a movie?
They, I believe they said it was a TV show, that there is going to be a TV show. So that's why I put it there.
I would love to see that team up, man. And I love to see Wanda and Vision in there too.
I agree.
Give that whole love triangle some boost. All right. So that's your fall choice. What's your next fall choice?
Okay, I think the next fall choice is also Ms. Marvel season 2. So I think that they're going to give us another Ms. Marvel season. I don't think that she's going to be stuck at just one season, especially after the Marvels comes out next year in 2023. I think we'll get more Ms. Marvel because she'll be more of that. She'll stick with more of the street level heroes, even though she'll have her other cosmic experience in the Marvels. I think they'll keep her on the ground and maybe even see her at some point interact with some of the other people, like other Young Avengers and things like that down the road. So that's my fall 2024 pick. And then because we have the big Fantastic Four movie. So now in that regards, another thing that's not on this list. Oh, well, that's awesome, Chris. Yeah. And so what's not on this list is sometimes they do a December movie, sometimes they do not. The only reason I think there would be a movie in December is
I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, is if they obviously what we're seeing here is everything Marvel Studios, right? But we can't forget they have their agreement with Sony, and at some point we're going to see another Spider-Man film, and I don't think we'll see it in Phase 5, but I think we'll see it in Phase 6. So I think we're going to have a surprise announcement for December. And I think it's going to be Spider-Man. That's Omar, I think, made up that title. But it
makes sense. It's the fourth movie. The fourth base is home run, baby. Home run.
I didn't think they were going for an analogy.
Bases loaded.
That's fine. But I think we're going to see.
Going all the way with MJ.
I think we'll see the Spider-Man movie thrown in there, especially with how well No Way Home did this past December. It would make sense for them to throw him over the holiday, and Sony would want that. They have to play with Sony, so it's not there, but I think that's what will happen.
I only agreed with 2 movies with you on this list in the placement of them, and I 100% agree with this one. It will be a Christmas movie, and it will be, it'll be a Sony announcement, so they're not even going to add it to the timeline. So, absolutely, I agree. I like all the different titles people are giving it on
Home
the chat.
At Last.
Maybe Spider-Man Finding Home, Home Alone.
It'll be like a home. It has to do something with Rebirth.
Right? Oh my, that is genius. And now I'll be so mad if they do. Thank you for appreciating that. It took me a while to come up with the stupid logo.
What if it's like Spider-Man rehoming? Because he has to find a new house.
Christmas like movie like Iron Man 3.
Like Iron Man 3. About
that. All right. So I agree with this one 100%. Yeah. This will be the one that Sony gets to announce because, hey, Sony.
So they have to do something. I think
Morbius 2 and Venom 3 and what's the other movie? The El Muerto and who else is coming?
Craven. Don't forget Craven.
Craven and Cardiac.
We all know this is not in any way, shape, or form in continuity with what we're talking about in this phase at all. But God willing, Sony will try their best.
Spider-Man Homewrecker. Ooh, I kind of like that one.
Up?
The El Muerto suck. Like Bloss is just a glutton for punishment.
Yes,
and Madam Web and Black Cat apparently has been casted, even though I'm excited about that casting. Who knows what they're going to do to Black Cat? She's not a thief. She's just like, she sells products, Mary Kay products, door to door. I don't know what they're going to do with that character.
I don't know what they're going to do with it. I'm so curious. So, all right. So,
Craven the Animal Lover. That is right. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to your list. We got
two. So, if Spider-Man doesn't work out and it's not the right choice, my second choice. That is my first choice. So then as far as TV shows are concerned, I think they would announce an Okoye TV show. We know it's coming. They've already announced they're going to do a spinoff of Okoye. We just haven't had any announcements as to when it would happen and what it's going to look like. And so I think we will see that maybe premiering in the winter of 2024. So during that, after Ms. Marvel airs her 8 episodes, because I'm assuming they're going to stick with their 8 episodes, right? That'll be over. And then we can get the Okoye series if that is what happens. So that's what I'm thinking is going to be happening in winter of 2024. So then we get to January, right? January, February timeframe. And what do I think is going to come out then? It's going to be a movie, and I think we'll see a Shang-Chi 2. Since we know that Daniel Cretton is going to be directing the Kang Dynasty, I would highly think that he might also be directing Shang-Chi 2. There may even be some connection. We'll see. I don't know. But it would make sense for him to return for that movie as well, because we've noticed that with the exception of Thor, who's been through a couple of directors for each iteration until Taika Waititi came to bat, Iron Man, they've pretty much tried to stick with some of the directors as of late with the same directors for their movies. In the early iterations, they tried different directors and had middling results, different directors for Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. I like Shane Black's Iron Man 3. Not everyone does. And
yeah.
We did. It wasn't really that bad already on that one. So I would think they would keep with him and want him to do Shang-Chi 2, which would make sense for him then to somehow tie it into Kang Dynasty.
I just think it's crazy that they're like tying a director like that, because I was looking at his credits and like I said, I believe in, everybody giving everybody a chance. Like Peter Jackson did Meet the Feebles, and he also directed what was it? Beautiful Creatures. Was that what it was called? Beautiful Creatures. I love that movie. Frighteners, and then moved on to do The Lord of the Rings. But I mean, he was the same guy that Meet the Feebles, and this just doesn't even feel like the same movie or the same tone. This guy has done just a bunch of shorts and a couple of, I think not even 2 movies are out yet, plus Shang-Chi. And then he's going to do the Avengers has a big cast. I assume Avengers Kang Dynasty is going to have a huge cast. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm keeping an open mind, but it just seems like a lot. I hope they give him a second director to help out, Because it's another thing. It's impossible for him to direct 2 films for 200, especially if you're looking at Avengers type of movie.
Yeah. Like, well, there's a good chance he won't direct Shang-Chi 2 and he'll just consult on it. There's also that chance too. Absolutely. I would be surprised if they would let us go, this over 3 years without a Shang-Chi 2. I expected us to get a sequel for Shang-Chi. I don't think they'd wait because that came out in 2021, right?
2021.
Yeah. So at this point, 2024, you're looking at 3 years, or 2025. So it's almost 3 or 4 years. So I would hope it would make sense for them to do a sequel because I think they're trying to do sequels of certain characters. And I think that's going to happen with Shang-Chi. I don't think they'd wait that long, but maybe. So he's not directed a lot. Nah.
Yeah. And that, like I said, I'm not downplaying what he's capable of doing. I think it's great that they're choosing different types of directors. They're not burning everybody out. I was kind of hoping the Russo brothers would come and be like, hey, remember when we said we'd come back and do Secret Wars?
But they never said they didn't announce a director for Secret Wars.
Right.
Thank you, Kyle. They didn't announce a director, but maybe the Russo brothers say, I'll do Secret Wars. We just don't want to do 2 Avengers movies. And then that's fine. They can still help.
Are any of these movies going to address the giant celestial with its marble hands and head just hanging out of the ocean?
Maybe.
We've had how many TV shows and movies since then, and ain't nobody talking about the damn Eternals, man.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, no. I think that they're still going to direct Secret Wars. I think that's going to be a big announcement. I would love to see that be announced at D23, since we know that if Secret Wars is coming, for them to announce that the Russo brothers are directing it, because they have said if they had to come back, that's what they would come back for. And they already directed 2 movies, pretty much did it back to back, right? They filmed it all concurrently. So that way they could just do it. It's a lot to film. And maybe they're like, we'll do Secret Wars, but whatever the 2 Avengers movies are, we need to give someone else this one. We'll consult and work together. And I bet that's what it's going to happen.
Is Trevor getting his own movie?
Oh,
that would actually
his own shorts. I bet we'll get more shorts with Trevor. That would be
Trevor, Groot, and Deadpool
all getting shorts. Speaking of Deadpool,
speaking of Deadpool, what's up, Amanda? What's up?
I think that is my spring of 2025.
Spring of 2025.
Yeah, that would be a great for the March timeframe. That'd be a great movie when the box office usually stale to invigorate some income, right? Usually that's Captain Marvel came out, I remember, in March, for example. And March is usually not a time where a lot of movies get a lot of money. It's not a lot of times for big, so this is a good time for them to throw something like Deadpool in there. There are, I'll be the first Marvel R-rated film. Obviously, if Daredevil Born Again comes out on Disney Plus, that's definitely going to be rated M for mature, I'm assuming. But what? Damn. Oh, they're back. How'd they find us?
Why is it you always bring out the word? Go ahead, keep talking. I got it.
Yes. But yeah, so I think that they're going to show somehow Deadpool 3, because I think at the end of Avengers Secret War, mutants will be introduced. I think throughout all the films and TV shows that we're going to see from Phase 5 and 6.
Only 84%, though, of people have found love with you all?
Yeah.
That's not a high rating, man. Give me 99% and I'm there. I'll give you my credit card number. Just saying. All right, go ahead, Amanda. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. So I think that there might sprinkle in hints of mutants and things like that. But, I think Deadpool will come in and kind of help usher the mutants into the MCU, if you will. If not, won't show up until after Secret Wars. But I know they've already announced that they're writing a script for it, and I'd be interested to see how long it would take. Disney would want to sit on that and release it, but I could see it coming out in Phase 6, maybe in this weird spring of 2025 timeframe.
Okay, all right. That makes sense. We do share some things in common. And yes. I have different reasons why I want it, but that's a really good reasoning. And now you wanted me to I may change my mind on where I place.
No, you can't change your mind now. It's too late.
Okay. All right. F off, Omar. All right.
Really quickly. Okay, what did I think? So what do I think is coming out spring of 2025? So this would be, around the time of right before Kang Dynasty and after all the events of Guardians and Marvels and things like that. And I think that we're going to get a Nova show. I know we've all been talking about it. I know they've been talking about it. While nothing's been officially announced, as I believe, right? Or I could be wrong. But I know that it's something that they're wanting to do. And I think that throwing it out there as a getting ready for like the summer of 2025. That'd be a great introduction as we get into our massive Secret Wars saga and the Kang Dynasty, because I know all of this is going to be very cosmic. Nova would be a great place to fit there with it. So that is why I put Nova in that spring 2025 slot. But I mean, of course, that can always change. So I think they said, what is it? Deadline said that they are developing a Nova project with the writer from Moon Knight.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. So they don't know if it's going to be a limited feature film or who's it?
Not Danny Boy did not ask for the Okoye movie. I can guarantee that because he's asking who is Okoye.
TV show. I think it's a TV show, Danny Boy, not a movie. It was a TV show they announced. It was a spin-off, like limited series.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Nova.
Isn't she busy filming Walking Dead yet again, or whatever the hell?
Yeah, with Rick Grimes, with Andrew Lincoln. She is come back.
Lord, that show that won't die.
I know. Well, that's all that AMC's banking on these days is just Walking Dead and every spinoff they can of it. So,
what's up, William?
Hello,
when does
William.
Galactus come in? Oh man, we got things to talk about. Let's keep going, Panda. Let's keep going. And then
all right. So after Nova, summer of 2025, the only thing that makes sense to me is a Doctor Strange movie in July. Doctor Strange 3. Why? Because I think we're not talking about the 80s Secret Wars. I think we're talking about Hickman's Secret Wars. And I think we're talking about incursions, specifically the incursions that Cleo happened to mention in the end credits of Doctor Strange 2. And for me, it makes sense that Doctor Strange, between whatever happens to Kang Dynasty, will filter into Doctor Strange 3, which will then filter into Secret Wars. I think those, including Fantastic Four, will all kind of play a really big part in what happens at the end of this multiverse saga. So I can't not see Doctor Strange being a summer movie for them in 2025. Because why would they do a an end credit sequence like that if we're not going to get a third movie? And most of their folks get at least 3 movies, minus Black Widow. So I anticipate that we'll get a Doctor Strange 3 the summer of 2025. So then after that, this one was a Hail Mary because honestly, at this point, I really wasn't sure what for summer 2025 else we could put. I assumed a TV show. So I kind of threw a Hail Mary in there. It was between Young Avengers and Midnight Suns, and I went ahead and did Midnight Suns. With Blade and Moon Knight have already come out. There's Daredevil. I mean, there's the possibilities they can throw in there. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. But this one was a hard one for me because it's such a weird slot. And we haven't even got to, Secret Wars comes out in November, but there's very well we could get something in the fall as well before November that comes out, whether or not it be another TV show or another movie, for example. But yeah.
She's not me. I'm the one that would add New Warriors, and I wouldn't even add them right now.
No, not yet.
Amanda mentioned that Armor Wars would be where? Did you?
Oh, okay, yeah, Dan V. So in the beginning, I said, so if you look at this phase 6 timeline that they presented, plus the phase 5 timeline, phase 5 ends July. Do you have the phase? Let's put that back up. Where's the phase 5? So here's the nope. That's not it. Where's the thing?
It's in there.
There it is. All right. So you see how we have Daredevil comes out in spring of 2024 as a TV show. Then we have a Captain America movie and a Thunderbolts movie in July, but they haven't announced any summer TV shows. And then if you look at the timeline, it starts off in the fall of 2024. They're not going to let us not have a TV show come out over the summer. So my guess is Armor Wars. Yeah. Armor Wars will actually end up being announced as summer 2024 TV series, and it'll come out like maybe in June, like Ms. Marvel did, for example, or maybe even August or something like that. So that's where I think Armor Wars. So it's not on the timeline because they didn't have a slot for it, but there's a chunk of time missing between the two timelines for something that should be there. I just can't see Marvel be like, we'll have, Daredevil 18 episodes, nothing else will premiere all of the summer because of Daredevil's coming out. Because I just don't think that's what they're gonna do.
Okay. Man, you brought up some really good points, and I'm like, damn it, kind of want to move my things around, but
nope, you can't.
Too late. So here's my
good, I saw yours, and you have some good reasons for your slots too. Some of these I was like, I know these projects will. I really think they're going to show up in this phase. I just don't 100% know where because
right.
The storyline we're getting, right? Phase 4 has been all over the place. We don't have a clear storyline or clear direction of anything. So it's hard to say what the order should be. Does that make sense? Yeah. Is Omar's shirt for
This is how Phase 6 is going to play out. What do you want to see, man? Well, these are things that we've already talked about. These are things I think some of us have been expecting just because they've talked about it or actors have talked about being in contract to do. But no, I dig it. I had no idea about that Okoye show, honestly, so I did not put that on mine. But who knows? We'll see what happens. I will give a fair warning, though. Mine starts off with Nova. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Because in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn stated that that's going to be the farewell to Guardians of the Galaxy. We need something cosmic. We need something to keep everything together. We always have to think ahead. That's the beauty of comics. And if you're borrowing from stories, you have 6 decades of stories you're borrowing from, then you got a goddamn roadmap ahead of you that's going to last you at least 15 more years. I say that because not everything translates well in the film. But if we're thinking, everything's ending with Secret Wars, we have to start setting up the next big event. And I am thinking that at the end of Wakanda Forever is when we're going to get the big reveal. I think in Phase 5, if we look back at Phase 5, we'll come back to my list here in a second. But if we look at Phase 5, the way that this is going to set up, let me show you. So we have Phase 5 right here, right?
Yes.
We have a Fantastic Four movie that kicks off with Phase 6. Kicks off Phase 6. I'm thinking we're going to meet Reed Richards in one of these shows. We're going to meet Johnny Storm in another show and his sister. And we're going to meet Ben Grimm, the pilot, in one of these shows. And I think Dr. Doom is going to be the one that kicks it off with. He's going to appear either, you and I have talked about this at the end of Wakanda Forever, or because it would make sense to introduce the Fantastic Four, someone in the Fantastic Four in Black Panther, because he first appeared in the pages of the Fantastic Four. So it would be really interesting to have either Reed Richards show up in Wakanda Forever, but we already have Namor. So we already have Ironheart. It's already too much. So what they may do, it might be one of those post-credit things that we'll see either Dr. Reed Richards or 616 or whatever the hell this universe is, because I can't even keep up anymore.
999
or Dr. Doom, right? And in through Phase 5 is when we're going to trickle all the other Fantastic Four members. And Dr. Doom is going to play a bigger role, as well as Kang the Conqueror. Because, we need to go. All right, let's go back to my list really quick.
Yeah, but no, and that makes sense because I think I did hear a rumor about an end credit scene of Dr. Doom showing up, and he's actually been behind a lot of what Claw was doing, and there might be some interaction between him and Namor. I don't know. I've heard some stories about it, and that would make sense for, I could see Johnny Storm if they're going to cast him age appropriately, a little bit younger. A teenager, maybe show up in Ironheart, for example. I could see that happening. Or unless Reed shows up as a teacher. That's also be really cool.
Well, they have the chance to go ahead and start introducing these characters in a whole year before these come out. So I think it's time to do something else and keep the cosmic universe alive, because we have Nova and we'll have another film here. And I think Nova is where you're going to find elements of things like Star Fox and Pip the Troll, where they might show up. Because we want to see, and he has ties to Earth, right? I mean, whether they go with Sam Alexander, who I think they're going to go with, or they go the route of Richard Rider, who I hope they go with, because that's my Nova. It doesn't matter. He's still going to have ties to Earth. He has ties to the cosmic universe. So we have to keep that open, because one day we want to see an Annihilation Conquest or Annihilation adaptation or War of the Kings, whatever. Like, you have to start setting things up now. So that's my choice for the first one, and that's why. And then in the Fantastic Four, again, you're going to have Doom, you're going to have the Classic Four. And the reason I added this here, Armor Wars, was okay. I'm sure you're right, though. You know more about this, and you keep up with this more than I do.
Yeah.
Coming out in the summer. But I think Armor Wars would be cool if Dr. Doom played a big part in that. And if he's already a big part of Fantastic Four, the next place to go would be who else, besides him and, like, I don't know, Justin Hammer, that take over the Iron Suits to take over the world. Like, that is such a cool concept. And one, it's not like Iron Man and Dr. Doom have not gone at each other. Issue 150, issue 250. So this is happening. It might not be our Robert Downey Jr., but he'll be some kind of Iron Man.
It'll be something.
It'll be somebody behind the War Machine armor. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I don't think they'll bring him back.
Shut up.
But it's fine.
Man can dream, right? All right, moving on to
my... show up in Secret Wars as a... Never mind.
I put my Deadpool here.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
I put my Deadpool here just because... I think it's already in the pipeline, and we didn't see it in Phase 5, so I think it's going to be one of the first few movies we saw it. I thought maybe fall of 2024, but maybe they want to go ahead and introduce, the Fantastic Four first before carrying over Deadpool. And in Deadpool, I think we're going to see aspects of the multiverse. And because he breaks the fourth wall just like Jennifer does in in She-Hulk, we saw that in the trailer, I think we're going to get some kind of recognition of, like, hey, who's this Doom guy and who's this Kang guy? What's going on? I'm not saying they're going to bring any mutants over, because, and by the way, it's spoilers for my list, but you're not going to see X-Men here. As much you won't.
I don't think
the Uncanny Omar. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's just too much. I think you are going to see some X-Men, though, and that happens
sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, I think they're going to play a big part of Secret Wars, but we'll get there. What's next? Ghost Rider. I'm glad you had Midnight Suns, but I think before we could have Midnight Suns, I think it's wise to introduce another aspect of the MCU, right? We're already going towards Secret Wars. That's going to be great. It's going to have a big team up. It's going to be Avengers Endgame type of stuff. And why not include cosmic? And now you have supernatural stuff. So you have, by now you'd have Blade, you have Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and Ghost Rider. And hell, we might even get a Midnight Suns movie. That would be cool. But the reason, that's why I kind of put it there. I was thinking maybe fall of 2024, but I think Armor Wars would have to go after Fantastic Four. Again, all of this is just speculation. I just read comics.
And maybe even Ryan Gosling will be casted as Ghost Rider.
I'm going to ignore that comment.
He wants that role. And Kevin Feige would love to
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage wants that role. All right.
Do we have that?
I didn't like the first movie. I know a lot of people didn't. Amanda didn't like the first movie, but
it's cosmic.
I would say Eternals 2 has to fit in there because it's cosmic. We can't have Eternals 2 lead into something it just doesn't make sense, right? Even if the movie didn't succeed as much as they wanted it to, these beings are actually a part of the MCU, and we're having somebody doing an incursion, somebody dealing with the multiverse, then absolutely it needs to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we talked about that, Dan V. Or Amanda did. She thinks, we both think, winter of 2024?
Yeah, I thought it would be the winter. Because it's kind of where the similar time frame of where No Way Home came out. Considering how well No Way Home did, I think Sony would like to try to replicate those results. So I think they will announce a Spider-Man movie in that time frame. That's where I'm going with it.
Yo, dude, I saw. Thank you for bringing this up, Matt. I saw a lot of people pissed off online, and you can always tell people that don't read comics they get pissed off about these things, like how Disney won't call them X-Men. You got to call them the mutants to be politically correct. No, dumbasses. It's because Stan Lee always wanted to call them the mutants. They changed at the last minute. As a matter of fact, Age of Apocalypse, they were going to call them the mutants and the Amazing Mutants, but then editorial stepped in and said, no, that's going to confuse the shit out of readers. We better just keep it X-Men. Yep. And that's the God honest truth. So I would be okay with mutants. Sure. And then give me X-Men, baby.
Yeah.
That's Eternals 2, and then my next one is Namor. I think it's going to happen in the same way that
a Namor movie.
I think Namor's going to be either, he's going to play the villain role for a bit. But I think something's going to happen between Fantastic Four and Namor that will have him team up with everybody against Kang. I mean, obviously, Kang is the big bad, right? That's what we're leading to in Kang Dynasty.
Exactly.
And I think Namor just makes sense because he's a superhero. Kind of like Black Panther. T'Challa got introduced in the Civil War movie. Namor's getting introduced in Wakanda Forever. I think this is it just has to happen. It's one of those things I'm sure they've been building up, and makes sense. Let's give him a movie, introduce more aspects, tie it into everything else that's going on. Kang Dynasty. So I have a theory about Kang Dynasty, and this is just my speculation. What's up, John Williams? Love your music. I heard you're retiring. So my theory of I wish you'd go and do the score for Avengers Secret Wars though, and end it with a bang. That would be great.
Has he ever done it? Never mind.
Like we're asking, like he's really John Williams. Yeah. I think in Kang Dynasty, we're gonna do that incursion, which is exactly what you said, and we're gonna see Doctor Strange 3. I 100% am with you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up right now. I'm with you there. That's exactly why I had it there. We're gonna get some kind of incursion and Doctor Strange 3. I mean, that's what it was kind of the after credits leading to.
Yep, exactly.
Now, what I think is going to happen is it's going to be a mix of classic Secret Wars. I'm talking Beyonder and Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars. I say that because you have two big characters here. You have Kang and Doctor Doom, who, if you remember in the original Secret Wars, had this ridiculous team up, which was so awesome, that against the Beyonder. And I think that's what's going to happen. One of them, Kang, is going to, think that he is winning. Doom will betray him, take the upper hand. And I say in that movie, he kills the heroes. He kills whoever the Avengers are in the Avengers Kang Dynasty and recreates the world in his image, giving us God Doom, God Emperor Doom, right? And that's where Doctor Strange 3 takes place. Again, this is just fan theory and fanboying because all I do is read comics, which leads to Doctor Strange 3. Like that, I think that's definitely happening. It will be his own movie, but it will definitely take place in this Secret Wars type of world where it's Doom recreating the universe in his image.
Okay, so you think they'll showcase the Secret Wars world before the actual movie, or do you think Doctor Strange 3 would be more like how Ant-Man and the Wasp was, where it takes place concurrently with the events of like Kang Dynasty? Because it's not like they wouldn't do that kind of stuff. And there's something in that movie that's very important that's going to help them. I would say, why would they repeat the same formula? But they could repeat that formula in that instance where something happens, like obviously in Ant-Man and the Wasp, you're introduced to the quantum realm. They rescued what's her name. That plays while it happened concurrently with Infinity War, it then helps them defeat. Like, well, I don't know if they would do that again. I don't know if they would go that same route. That makes like they could not use that route.
We did, Ricardo. Like, I think Nova's going to be a TV series. I think Ghost Rider will probably be a TV series. That stuff will happen. Actually, my next one I think is going to be a TV series.
Yeah.
And the reason I chose Doctor Strange is because if we've already introduced the concept of multiverse, then anything goes for him to go and jump around and try to, I don't know,
maybe reclaim his Sorcerer
acquire a team of special individuals. Let's just call it the Avengers Initiative. Is that the kind of whistle that you're supposed to take to the park when you go jogging?
sorry. I just pet him in the wrong spot. I apologize.
Was that your husband or your
No. Yes, my husband. No, it was my dog.
All right. My last one. With the world's heroes dead, Doctor Strange jumping around to another universe trying to gather a bunch of heroes, and everybody thinks he's dead. This is where you get your Young Avengers. This is where I think the team of leftover heroes, and they just happen to be those kids that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I think this is where that TV show comes in. It takes place in that battle world, if you will.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's all speculation, of course. That's all we ever do here. But I think it's important. That's why I didn't have the mutants. I think the mutants are too big. The mutants can carry their own thing. The mutants are going to be nothing but Phase 7.
Yeah,
and all of this leading into Avengers Secret Wars. And at the ending of that, we'll get a brand new timeline and a brand new universe. And Bob's your uncle.
Well, and it makes sense because we'll still get Fantastic Four, which I think they can still stick around for Phase 7. That makes sense. But a lot of these other characters will have run their course at that point. I mean, Ant-Man, for example, and well, obviously the Guardians will be gone by then. But even Captain Marvel, I know we haven't put any Captain Marvel 3.
I don't think they do it.
I think they'll do a Captain Marvel 3. I know I didn't put it on mine, but that's why I put Ms. Marvel in there. I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do, but given how Disney's been playing, trying to be with their equitable card, right? I think they'll try to give her the chance to 3 films, just like they did with all of their male superhero leads. That's just my theory, but I didn't put her in there because I don't know where she'd fit in there.
I think they would probably rather use her in the big Avengers movies, right? What about Thor 5? I think Thor will appear definitely, right? In Kang Dynasty.
I know there's they haven't really announced a Thor 5. I know Taika Waititi said he'd come back if Chris Hemsworth comes back. They've been playing coy about it, so there's no.
Hercules has to fight him somewhere, right? And they have to laugh about it.
I know maybe it's a TV series. I don't know.
Chris Hemsworth and Taika. No, not doing a TV show. And to recap our choices, this is the wonderful, amazing Amanda's choices right here. With Wonder Man and Okoye and Ms. Marvel, Shang-Chi 2, Deadpool 3, Nova, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, Doctor Strange 3, Midnight Suns. It is going to be fun to name Doctor Strange 3 in some kind of multiverse.
It may not be a multiverse. The only other thing we haven't neither one of us put it on there, and that is a World War Hulk limited series.
Yeah, where did that rumor come from? Let's talk about that here in a second. And then my quick recap of mine: Nova, Fantastic Four, Armor Wars, Deadpool 3, Ghost Rider, Eternals 2, Namor, Avengers, Doctor Strange 3, and Young Avengers leading into Secret Wars. Hey, been a minute.
It has been.
And how's it going? Hercules and his first cousin, once removed, Testicles. Thank you for that. I needed that. Yeah. Taika's doing Star Wars, I thought, right?
Yeah, he has a Star Wars, which he apparently tried to cast Natalie Portman and forgot that she was already in Star Wars films, playing one of the most integral parts of the Skywalker saga, no less.
No, we can't be absolutists like that, Roberto Rodriguez.
So I've heard that
5 people want.
Yeah.
And there's
it might center around Pip, the troll, and Star Fox, and I know there's a very strong fan base for Harry Styles that would go see that movie if he had a lot of screen time.
Please stop.
I know that because my sister's part of that fan base.
Wrong with this?
They are rabid. I don't know if any of you are One Direction fans, but I have a family member who is, and they are rabid and they are devoted. Unlike any of us comic book fans who are kind of sometimes wishy-washy, they are dedicated to anything Harry Styles. If you're Harry Styles,
don't even understand that.
I'm just saying, if I think it would center around them trying to find the Eternals. If anything, that would make sense because they showed up right last minute. So so there's a leak that said that there's going to be a World War Hulk limited series, or that was going to come out and that was going to start production. And I don't know, neither one of us put it in there because I don't know if it's going to actually fit there. What would be really cool if they did a spin on World War Hulk and it was part of the Battle Worlds, right? And it was like a limited series, but in Secret Wars. I don't know. I
have a hard time understanding how they can even adapt that. Unless they give us, I mean, I can't imagine them doing this, like something that makes them enraged, like killing She-Hulk at the end of her TV show, which I doubt.
No, it's a comedy. They even said it's a straight up their first like network style comedy. They cannot kill her again.
How can we have a World War Hulk where we have this peaceful, smart Hulk that's walking around that looks like Shrek? Nothing is leading to that.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen in the next Avengers movie.
I don't know what's going to happen. What are you talking about, man? I just laid out Phase 6 right there.
You know exactly what's going to happen. I'm just saying something could happen to him in that. If it's going to happen, it'd be cool for it to happen somewhere in between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, and maybe it's a Battle World style thing where it's taking the elements of World War Hulk but throwing it in the Secret Wars Battle World like thing.
Mike Irish, have you been, buddy?
Mike Irish, thank you for that.
Fantastic show with Ezra Miller as Reed.
Oh my
god! Oh man, if they destroy his swamp, like how can you get Hulk bad and like mad enough to have a World War Hulk? I'm just saying.
It's true.
Well, the Bea Hercules series. Hercules can work as a comedy. That would be really fun. You get actually Fred Van Lente has written comedy. He wrote.
Well, considering that Brett Goldstein is Hercules, it's not. I mean, we know he can do comedy.
Well, yeah, but his comedy's a little bit different. Hercules,
yes,
is,
well, definitely
a little more. He's a little more joyous than angry guy.
Yeah.
I would love a Harry Styles music, but celebrity worship isn't healthy.
No, I agree, 100%. I mean, yeah, you're preaching to the choir over here. Yes, I enjoy my celebrities as much as the next person, but I've seen the level of hero worship that can get extreme, and it is a little scary. I'm not gonna lie.
How about Man Thing, a good movie or TV show? They did a Man Thing straight to DVD back in, what was it, 2002? That was one of those early years of Marvel comics, and it was not that good. But those are our predictions.
Yes.
Now, what do you all think? What do you all want to see in Phase 6?
Yeah, we've been talking about our choices, but what are some of the things that you guys are looking forward to possibly seeing?
I saw Roberto Rodriguez. He says Captain Marvel 2 and Okoye. That's what he wants to see in Phase 6. Yeah. I don't know if they can carry all that. Punisher, where could he show up? I think if anywhere he shows up, it has to be Born Again.
I think that's the rumor he's going to show up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes sense. That would be where I would put him too.
I say Silver Surfer shows up in Eternals, having shown up in the Fantastic Four.
You think they'd have Silver Surfer and Dr. Doom in there?
Why not? I mean, look at everything. Can be,
sorry,
ain't nobody touching that dog in the happy spot. I mean, look what they've done with after credits, right? It makes sense. They could do it if they wanted to. Silver Surfer probably Phase 7. Kazar in the Savage Land. Man, where would that...
Man, they could do a Savage Land. That'd be kind of cool.
Where would that... I mean, I always think of the X-Men in the Savage Land, but where else can that show up?
Yeah.
I want Disney to back up the Brinks trucks to Russo's and Marcus and McFeely. I'm sure they will. I want to see a Scarlet Witch movie. Please, no on Seth. I hope he.
So I know that a lot of people have been saying they want to see a solo Scarlet Witch.
Was Mom not good enough?
Huh?
Was Mom not good enough for people?
I don't think it was. Well, because it really was like a dual movie for her and for. But I don't know, like what would a Scarlet Witch movie entail? And we still have White Vision running around. Will we ever see him again?
I'm sorry. When did we start calling him White Vision? Do we call him?
I'm sorry, the other Vision. We still see Adrian floating around, and
okay. Yeah, the last time he showed up was in WandaVision, right at the end, and he flew away.
I'm still curious about what's going to happen with that and how that's what.
Honestly, that could take place in your Wonder Man show. Wanda's a big part of that.
That's true. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Well, Oh, what is that? Wanda and Doom hook up like in the comics. Oh, Wanda
what about in the Agatha movie?
In Coven of Chaos, there's a good possibility. Yeah.
Show, sorry.
Because I'm still curious, like, of all the people to get their own show, Agatha, and why? So maybe maybe there's a chance for her to show up. I do want a Spider-Woman show as well. At some point. Maybe her and She-Hulk can have a girls' night out.
Is Sony, right? So they couldn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Until they buy them.
Then again, we did get these Universal properties, so we never know. There's always
I don't see color.
That's true, Mr. Awesome. You're right. He does not.
Especially when I'm drinking. Echo's a weirder show choice. They have made some interesting choices.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like for phase 4 and phase 5, they just kind of threw out some stuff. I know that Kevin Feige during that segment or afterwards talked about wanting to keep street level heroes or cosmic heroes, right? These different levels. And I guess I see why they're doing an Echo show. And I think it's more to also for more diversity of characters and things like that is why they're adding that show in there. But again, I think some of these shows are one-off series and not going to be.
Dude, that is as diverse as you can get. I think you can get, right? I don't know. Like, to me, like that character, the lady that they casted as Echo, is she deaf, right? In real life?
She is in real life, yeah. Exactly.
And she has a prosthetic leg, is that right?
Correct. All that is true.
Is she Native American?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. So she can't get it.
Check. We're done. Yeah. Time to check. No, we're done with representation. We just checked everything with Echo. Maybe that's why they did it. That's crazy. Wow. Man, good for her. I'll be honest, I never really did like the character in the comics, but I never did like Alias either. So that show did really well. It's got a huge fan following.
Well, Jennifer Garner's a very likable actress, so it makes sense.
Echo and Agatha weren't necessary. I wonder how Agatha got picked. Like, did you think that happened before fans reacted to her in the show? Or
I don't know. That's what's so hard to believe. That's why sometimes I think they were just see what stuck for these phase 4 and 5, like for some of this stuff. And I'm sure the pandemic affected a lot of the choices they have made, right? For some of these earlier projects. I think that phase 6 will be more deliberate, if anything, in the choices that they make.
This is why I wanted to do a Nova movie before Fantastic Four. To start introducing aspects of the cosmic universe, right? Because we have we got to fill in that missing hole in our hearts of Guardians of the Galaxy. Once they go away with 3, that's it, right?
James, we get the Marvels after the fact, isn't that right?
What's that?
Don't we get the Marvels after Guardians? So we still have some cosmic.
Is it we don't know what it's going to be yet, right?
I think, yeah, but
I think with things like Eternals 2 and Nova, you could throw in things like Galactus in there. Galactus is too powerful. Yes, that's the point.
He could be his own saga. Honestly, he could be his own thing. So.
I think people like Catherine Hahn. I do too.
I agree.
I also like Florence Pugh, but I don't know about. No, I take it back. I take what is her name? White Widow. What's she going? Is she just Yelena right now, or is she taking?
They haven't given her a name yet. She's just Yelena.
Okay. Yelena. I'll take it.
Thunderbolts, probably. We both casted that, so we should know that she'll be it.
I think Echo has potential based on what I saw in Hawkeye. I feel Echo might be a show where they throw in loads of other street level characters to introduce to the whole wide world. Right. We know for a fact that Kingpin is going to show up in there.
Makes sense. Yeah. Considering her. So we know that with She-Hulk, we get Daredevil making a cameo, right? And then in Echo, we're going to get Vincent D'Onofrio returning because we already know he has a relationship with Echo's father, for example, from Hawkeye.
Phase 7, X-Men. Here's what's going to shock the shit out of everybody. Phase 7, Inhumans, Uncanny Inhumans, the Royals, leaving it up to IVX. Instead, all these people bitching about them, they did my boys, the Inhumans, dirty. where y'all at when they announced the Inhumans instead of the X-Men? Ain't nobody gonna see the damn Inhumans.
It is funny how people take up for the Inhumans, and I didn't realize they were that popular characters.
No, I don't think anybody asked for comics. Every freaking time I worked at a comic store, nobody ever asked for Inhumans comics. They already blew Galactus shot with that Celestial. That Celestial, dude, that was okay. Well, I didn't like a lot of the movie. I did like aspects of it. And that last shot of the Celestial, holy crap. That was visually freaking amazing.
Well,
like that it was just looming over the earth. And I'm like, man, I cannot wait. I remember looking at my brothers. I'm like, when freaking Galactus shows up like this and not some damn cloud, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's our theory for Miss Marvel 2,
yes.
or Captain Marvel 2, I'm sorry. They'll do the Marvel, Rick Jones place dynamic with Carol and Kamala Khan. I think that's exactly what they're doing. And they may even introduce the Negative Zone. You know who likes to hang around there.
Mr.
Go ahead. Who?
Nothing. Go ahead. No,
you were right though. You were right. He
was Mr. Fantastic.
So does Annihilus. Annihilus also hangs out there.
He does. That's also a bad thing that could lead into another. Because I would like to see an Annihilation event at some point. Now, granted, if they want longevity for the MCU, you can't just throw all these amazing stories in and just throw them in at once. We got a long game. There'll be Marvel fans long after Omar and I are dead and gone, so we have to keep it. Like,
there are dozens of Inhumans fans.
Dozens is the key.
We need that gift. White Vision, you say. By the way, the quote I was talking about is actually from Community when Abed was talking about White Abed.
Exactly.
Why don't we call him White Abed? Cloud Actus. Good Lord, that was so disappointing. Disappointed. The Eternals 2 villain's going to be that's how you get people to the theaters. Roberto Rodriguez. You tell them that the Inhumans are going to show up in Eternals 2.
Eternals 2 is going to be such an interesting. You think they'll bring back Chloe Zhao to direct it, or you think they'll try to cast a new or hire a new director?
I don't know. I think I don't know.
I don't remember much about that movie. I'm trying to remember. Did Angelina Jolie? Her character is still alive, right?
Her character's still alive, yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was her guardian, who I really like. That relationship between both of them.
So much money to bring her back. That's why, who was saying for Ghost Rider Keanu Reeves, I think we'd be okay if we cast a no-name. Because even Ryan Gosling might be too expensive.
Look, man, there's one scene they need to just remake in
I do, but you can play it for everyone.
You already know the scene right there for Ghost Rider, the classic Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a kid show.
Yeah, found that when we did our Ghost Rider.
That's the best acting Nicolas Cage has ever done.
Ghost Rider. I don't remember this in that movie, but I guess Ava Mendes.
You're the one that found that GIF, man.
I know. I didn't realize. Look, I was looking at Ava Mendes, Nick Cage GIFs, and that popped up. I wasn't expecting it. I thought it'd all be Ghost Rider GIFs.
And the beauty of that is that when Melanie accidentally deleted it, you went and found it again. That's how proud I am of you.
Ooh, I know. I was not going to let it go. Roberto wants to know what brought out people to see the first Eternals. For me, it was Kit Harington, who was barely in it. So
for me, it's that chick, man, that played Minerva in Captain Marvel. She's fine.
Oh, yeah. She's beautiful.
I can't remember. Who is the lead in Eternals?
She is the lead.
Okay, yeah, her. She was Cersei, right? Like,
yeah, Cersei is the lead technically. Her and I guess Richard Madden, who played what's his name?
Icarus.
Thank you. Yeah, TVMA.
They had that beautiful, weird, sexy. Well, they have more community cameos. They still in Jeff, Bretta, and Annie. Not Pierce.
That depends on.
Chevy Chase can't get a cameo, but Bill Murray can.
Well. Bill Murray didn't do anyone as dirty as Chevy Chase. Has a long history.
Okay, this is why I don't keep up with people's shit. What did Chevy Chase do?
It's a long history of things.
I know he's notorious for being a jerk, and his character of Pierce is supposed to be racist and homophobic, as Chevy Chase is.
I guess he was too racist and homophobic. Offset.
Is that what happened?
To Donald Glover.
I really don't know about what.
That's I know that's what a lot of it was. But that depends, honestly, Yakub, that really depends on if the Russo brothers come back and direct Secret Wars. Because the only reason we got those cameos is because they directed. Like that's why Abed was in Captain America: Winter Soldier, because that's the first Russo brothers outing, for example. That's why we even got Ken. Jeong came in Avengers Endgame. Remember, he played security guard that found Scott and in the impound lot with the like. So that's why we get them in there. They didn't do Civil War, but they did Civil War.
Yeah, they did Civil War.
Yeah, and of course that's where Dean Pelton was in there. Yeah. So I don't know.
Russos are all in on their Gray Man universe. But how much money is that bringing them? Like Netflix?
I don't know. It's a good film. I watched it.
I haven't seen it yet. I've been busy watching.
And of course, Joe Russo does his little throws himself in there as a cameo. I know we're getting off topic, but
that's okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but it is cool. I always love seeing him do his little cameos. It's a much better outing for them than Cherry was with Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. I was really disappointed in that film, and that maybe it's because, it was just a little disappointing. So
Chase was a jerk, but I like his work. Yeah. Apparently some people were saying that he was problematic on the set of Community. I just growing up, I thought Chase was like the perfect dad in National Lampoon's Vacation. That was like the type of dad that I was going to be, especially when he pulls up in the parking lot and everybody's like, oh, this trip, it's costing too much money. Let's just go back home. And he freaking snaps, because that's the same way I snap.
Yep.
My kids have seen it, so that's exactly who I turned into. And so it's really weird to talk about him and Mr. Awesome say Chase was a jerk, but I like his work. Big fan of Fletch, man.
Everyone loves
Civil War. I don't get the hype. Whoa, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, that's a hot take right there. Hot take.
I'll tell you what, Andrew. I did say that Civil War was the first time I realized that CGI was not on par with the Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2, which really surprised me. And it's gone downhill since then, including Thor: Love and Thunder, which we talked about, including aspects of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. And a lot of them are blaming Disney, but then people are no, it's actually the VFX companies that are claiming they can do these things for cheap. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to pretty much outbid the other VFX company. And in doing so, you're working your employees to death. So there's a lot of things that are messed up, but
that's the problem with
Greg, good luck, my brother.
Going with the lowest bidder. Someone asked didn't the Russo brothers say they weren't going to direct another Marvel? So they back when they were promoting the Gray Man, they said they have no plans at this time, but they're not ruling anything out. At some point in the future, it could come up, is how Anthony Russo had said it in an interview he did back in early July, when they were first doing some rounds for the Gray Man. So that is basically the good old answer of it probably will happen, but we're not going to say it's going to happen until we got the final contract in hand. And so, maybe, but not, we don't have any plans right now, kind of thing. So they could happen.
Yeah.
That's why I still think they're going to get Secret Wars. I still think it's going to happen.
Gray Man this is what I'm talking about. Gray Man cost $200 million to make, which is insane. A sequel and spinoff are in the works now. The Russos decided to choose violence and one called going to a movie theater elitist, so they're Netflix now. Okay, but how bankrupt is Netflix going to go paying movies? How can you make your money back from movies like that? Those movies, those type of... God damn it! Are you serious?
They're back, yeah.
Roberto Rodriguez, if I make you an admin,
will you monitor that?
Will you quit letting the bots in? Okay, well, at least they're not telling me they're 95% successful. But yeah. So how can a place like Netflix, a streaming service, make their money back on things like that?
Well, that's
I heard that story. Was it on Howard Stern? I think I saw a little bit of a clip of that. Oh no, the porn bot. Sorry, we let them in. That must have been that GIF of National Treasure.
That GIF did it. Oh, Nick Cage ruined everything.
That National Treasure GIF.
Yeah, that's the reason why Netflix is in the pickle they're in right now, right? Their shareholders were upset about misleading them on the numbers for their loss of subscribers. And of course they have the whole, we're going to try to make everyone pay extra for extra accounts. And viewers and things like that, which I still think is going to hurt him more than it's going to help him. And, we talked about in our show before, I always like to bring up what's going on Netflix. And I know the last news story I'd heard about was they were going to try to toy with the idea of advertisements at the beginning and ending of shows and movies, for example. So that's another way to pay. I know they never wanted it, but that's another way to pay for their projects, because they spent what, $500,000, right? Over $500,000 on the entire Knives Out like property, just to have that, to be able to create content based off of Daniel Craig's character.
I was making fun of that when you were telling me about it, because what the hell does that even mean? Like, how again, this goes back to how much money do you have? You have $500,000 to pay for this, for scripts that haven't even been written. Like, how do you get your money back? Well played. Well played. Somebody, how did I not think about this? Somebody asked, like, what brought me to go see Eternals? I'll give you 2 reasons right there. Kit Harington and Chloe, the director. Because I think those.
Yeah, that's exactly what everyone's going.
Daniel Craig, just like me, the first 2 names.
Yeah, Craig Ryan.
You're right. Knives Out 2 should have 45 days theatrical window. Something like that, right? You got to get your money back. They're going to bring back Whedon. I almost made that comment, but I can't keep up. I think he's been canceled too, right?
Yes. But even he talked about, like, I mean, the pressure and stuff of Ultron and how hard it was to maintain that. And that was back in 2015. And it's only gotten bigger since Ultron, right? And all the things that they're going to want, that Feige wants to add in and keep track of. And so I don't know if it's really going to be for him when it's all said and done anyway, regardless of what happened on the personal side and people canceling him and whatnot.
That almost got me to watch Eternals also, Omar, until I saw the runtime. Yeah, it was kind of long. Feige said he wants Spider-Man and Daredevil to lead street-level hero corners, and Echo's there to expand that corner. But how can Feige have that without Sony, though? I mean, yeah, I'd like that too. That'd be great. But without Sony saying, yeah, you can borrow Spider-Man, you can't have Spider-Man. I mean,
yeah. Well, remember, we know that they made that agreement. God, that was back in what, 2019, that they did that agreement. He's supposed to appear in other Marvel projects besides Spider-Man 3, which I'm assuming would be Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And they could rewrite it so that he can have his own solo movie. But
I take a Rian Johnson Marvel. He's the guy that did Looper, right? And Last Jedi.
And Knives Out.
And
the original one.
So you know it's going to be expensive to get somebody like that.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they have been choosing a lot of, because Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier, I think is the name, right? No. So the people who they've casted for some of these are lesser known.
Yeah, the guy that did Shang-Chi, he's doing the Kang Dynasty, which I can't wait for. I'm excited. I just hope he, give him a chance and see what happens. It is, I mean, you're taking a gamble on a director. They took a gamble on the Russos too. Even though the Civil War had come out by then and everybody
and Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry, Winter Soldier. Everybody held as the
high standard of Marvel,
right? Like, holy crap, comic book movies are more than just superheroes bashing each other's heads in. Then we got Civil War. Exactly. But by that point they were able to carry all the big cast.
Exactly. Well, and it did help that they worked on some ensemble pieces like Community before, where they had a fairly large cast with the supporting cast of reoccurring characters that they had to fit in. So that helped out a lot.
If we're gonna get the brothers, the Duffer brothers from Stranger Things, then that's definitely something I would want to see, like on Ghost Rider or what Amanda said, the Midnight Suns, something like that. That would be cool.
See if so I know they formed their own they have their own production company, and I believe they're doing another project for Netflix right now. So I don't know if they would go as far as to do that, double duty that with
Oh, they're doing like a spin-off, right?
Yeah, they're doing a spin-off of sorts. So I don't know if they're going to pursue actual, films at this point for theatrical release. But you never say never. Depends on how the spin-off goes. I mean, how many spin-offs were we supposed to get of House or
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. I was gonna say House of Dragons, which is the only spin-off that ended up coming out. So far. We might get the
aren't they doing the Death Note, which those damn things never work out well. These American adaptations of manga.
They are adapting it again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna learn our lesson and leave those things alone? I haven't seen. I mean, outside of like Kenshin, and I do have a soft spot in my heart for Guyver 2 and 1 and Zaram. Idia, the animation, or Zaram Idia, that was the animation. But anyway, there have been very few successful adaptations of like anime and manga that work. Did we do it? Was it really that bad for Iron Man 3? We did that, right?
We did. Because I actually said it wasn't that bad because
no, you actually liked it.
I actually liked that film, so we did do it. Wasn't really that bad. I don't know if Chris has seen it more than once. No, you have, Omar, seen it more than once now, right? I have.
Because I did. Wasn't really that bad. So I can't remember if we did that or 2. We need to bring that show back.
We did do it. We did Iron Man 1, 3.
Yeah, next time we're doing Was It Really That Bad with Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm terrified of what they're going to do with One Piece, brother. Like, you saw what they did with Cowboy Bebop. Ain't nobody learned the damn real lesson. Like, what? God dang it. Wait. What kind of girl are you going to find for me, though?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, fine. I'll stop asking them.
I thought you made Roberto a admin.
I thought I was going to. I got to make him swear an oath.
Yeah, so Roberto wants to know when's the next Reelz Talk for Paper Girls. So that apparently Omar said it just all dropped.
Yeah, that's up.
So it's not even like it's one episode. So we'll have to watch it all, ingest it, and then we might do that next week or something like that. We got some time. I am moving, that does put a damper on things because it gets crazy when one moves and then my child starts school 3 days later. I know, it's crazy times. And I just started a new job like last week. So it's just been a whirlwind of things. But yeah, I was surprised when Omar said they dropped the entire season because I was not aware they were going to do that.
Honestly, it's surprising.
You're right. It doesn't bode well if Amazon drops the whole season.
Yeah, so I don't know. I will tell you, I really like the casting though. The casting reminds me of the little girls in the comic.
Good.
And I just kind of read some of the comics. The difference, One Piece is Oda supervised and approved. You know, here's the thing. I heard that too, right? And it always makes me weary. And I'm not saying Oda needs money. He doesn't. Neither does Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman gave the approval for and swears, he casted Morpheus himself. And honestly, that little scene that I saw with Death and the old man, the violinist, kind of brought a tear to my eye. I thought that was a really pretty scene. Mm-hmm. But every time a creator does that, I always think of things that, like American Gods, that Neil Gaiman was like, oh yeah, it's a good adaptation. Or Garth Ennis approving like Preacher, and then later on coming in and saying, no, Preacher, they didn't really get it. So I always take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But I hope it does well, and I hope it's good for fans of the manga, for people that want to get into this huge world and then read the manga, Thought Neil Gaiman wrote some Sandman. I think he wrote the script, not 24 hours, but he wrote one of them. And so maybe it's the one with the Corinthian. So you watched 2 episodes of Paper Girl so far, so good.
Okay.
Really? Wait a minute. So are they doing 8 episodes, dude? Is it 8 episodes that they're doing? Because that's what I saw out.
For Paper Girls?
Mm-hmm. Either Howard, Ron, or Dallas Howard.
So Mr. Austin, when I saw your comment, I thought, if the Russo brothers weren't going to direct Secret Wars, would they cast someone like she is, or cast, I keep saying cast, but would they hire someone like that? They checked the diversity box. She's also, directed some great episodes in Mandalorian, for example.
I think the best episodes of the Mandalorian,
yeah, were her directing, right?
Boba Fett were her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not a terrible idea. I'm sure she just wants to distance herself from Jurassic World Dominion. So,
because in the midst of all this, so we will do was it really that bad for Ant-Man and Wasp, since we announced that, and I've already watched it, and I know Amanda had watched it.
And I really want to talk about it. Yeah.
And I'm okay waiting to talk about it. We also have like things like Paper Girls that just dropped, and we have Sandman dropping, and I assume Sandman is gonna drop the entire season.
Yes, I would think so too.
Which is just so like, I don't know how. Like, I wish they would split things up. I wish they would do like a season 1 part A and part B later on. Kind of gives people something to look forward to, right? Instead of waiting a whole year. Thought they learned their lesson with Stranger Things. I thought that was a smart move with Stranger Things.
Yeah. Well,
let's just please take a break from Taika Waititi for a while. Look, I will say I did not like Thor: Love and Thunder.
No.
But I still really like him as a director. I think a lot of the problem with Love and Thunder was the editing. I think he can direct something heavy with a lot of emotional turmoil in there. Yeah, we saw it with Jojo Rabbit, right? So we know he can do funny with a mix of that. So yeah. Omar, are you excited for Prey? I ain't been excited for a damn Predator movie since Predator 2. Predator 2 is the last Predator movie I enjoyed, dude. So I saw the trailer. Even trailers don't get me excited. Well, because Alien versus Predator just destroyed me. I'm like, I can't believe they have destroyed this franchise, both of them at the same time. So I don't get excited anymore for those. I'll go see it. Like I went to go see Prometheus and Alien. I can't even remember the damn Ridley Scott movie. But no, wait, it's a show, isn't it? Looks cool.
Yeah.
Have hopes, but even didn't Robert Rodriguez, didn't he direct one of them too, Predators?
I think he did actually, yeah. I just remember which one he did.
Yeah. Dude, thank you. I quote that all the time with my brother. I think my brother's the only one that gets that that quote. Want some candy? Prey does look cool. I appreciate the week-to-week format better than just dropping it all at once. I agree. Panda, what do you think?
I agree too, though it is funny. I think back to myself when Netflix was still a new and interesting thing that had come out, and we started getting more stuff, getting like their original shows started coming out, like Orange is the New Black, for example, and things like that, and talking and thinking, oh, this is so great. Get to watch them all and binge them. And it's funny to see how I back then was like, oh, this is new and exciting because I don't have to wait. But now I'm like, I don't mind waiting to just, watch it one day each week. Interesting how it turns out it changes like that. I remember how excited I was when I could binge things, but then I also had time to binge things. I don't have that time anymore.
And Harley season 3 is on HBO Max. That's another thing I'm hoping to see a lot more of is releases of the DCEU and what they have planned. Besides Shazam and Evil Shazam.
If they announce Fandom's date and everything like that, maybe we'll see some of that. But I think DC's in a weird spot. They've had a lot of turmoil with actors. And they couldn't have predicted, right, what would happen with Ezra Miller. Maybe they could. They could have predicted with the Amber Heard situation. It's,
At any time, anybody can, like, Paul Rudd could have been like killing a bunch of grannies.
Don't say him. Nope, he's like Tom Hanks. Okay. Nope.
Both of them have been killing grannies at the same time, and we don't find out about it. And then me and you can't do any more Ant-Man and Wasp reviews.
Which you will not be sad about.
Week by week kind of makes it an event. Absolutely. I feel like I miss that. I talk about this often with Amanda, just the, trying to relive that time of watching Game of Thrones with her. And then reviewing it immediately after it was over, and everybody jumped on, and we all talked about it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I hope those days kind of return, and they start giving us times for like streaming, because everybody was watching it. Bars were filling up with people watching Game of Thrones. It was nuts.
Yeah, which can still, depending on how House of Dragons goes.
But House of Dragons is one of those things of streaming, right? So it can drop at midnight somewhere.
No, but it's going to still show up on HBO. Remember, HBO is different than everyone else because they still have a cable network channel. So they still have to drop things.
It premieres there first.
Well, it'll premiere on HBO Max the same time it premieres on air, wherever your time zone is. So that's where it will premiere. So like that's why I can't watch Last Week Tonight is on Sundays, but it doesn't show up until it won't show up on HBO Max till Sunday at 11 something at night. So then I can watch Last Week Tonight at that time because that's when it premieres on HBO. So that's where HBO still has that over. Like Disney can't do that because do they have a Disney Channel? Actually, a Disney Channel anymore? I think they do, but there's still stuff there.
Isn't it like a free app? And House of Dragons is weekly. I'm excited for House of Dragons. I think enough time has passed since Game of Thrones final season. Ooh, boy, that last season, that last episode. Anyway.
Yeah, look on our faces when we left. We came upstairs to do that episode.
We did a watch party on our Discord one time. We did it with a
movie, right?
Or maybe it's like the first 3 episodes of it was Umbrella Academy. The first 3 episodes.
Oh, it was Umbrella Academy. That's what
it was. A lot of fun. People joined in and we all watched it together.
Yeah,
you heard our commentary. When you watch things with Amanda and Omar, you're gonna hear a bunch of talking and laughing and talking.
Usually what happens. Yeah.
Pretty much what happens. Episodic TV still lives. Good. Well, then House of Dragons, I'm in then. That sounds fun. So you can buy, since you're living like right next door, you buy HBO and then I'll come over to your house.
I have HBO.
But you got to get the cable, like the actual cable.
No, you don't. It'll still premiere. Had we watched Game of Thrones, Omar.
Downloaded it.
It came out the last season.
They got it before we did.
At that exact time, 9:00 or whenever it was.
Whatever. Yes. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it.
Near McKinnon does have a Discord. It's part of our Patreon. Check it out. The link to our Patreon is not in the description of this video. It's in the description.
It will be after What?
No.
You're not going to post? You're not going to put it in the description after it airs?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It will be?
In the description of the channel after the episode after it airs.
There we go. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is episodic 2. Dude, I haven't seen a single episode of Picard or Star Trek.
Well, Picard's ending too.
I usually wait until half the episodes are out and I binge them anyways. I ain't gonna lie though, I did binge Virgin River season 4. If anybody wants to hear my take on that, that's a part of our Patreon tier.
My sister and my mom watch it. You can.
That's the $100 tier. You can join me to hear my thoughts on it. Omar will be available on Max as well. All right, man. Look at that. Look. So, but you gonna join that Patreon tier, meme boy? Meme boy. Let's go, Omar. Where are we going? Ant-Man still has a chance to defeat the next big baddie by shrinking down and going into the bad guys, but sort of, probably not anymore after The Boys, though, right? Even though it wasn't.
Yeah, that ruined that aspect.
But that was awesome, man.
It was.
There's a lot of people who saw House of Dragon and they got. Wait, hold on. You got season 8 haters, but they said it was great, huh? And they were Game of Thrones season 8 haters. I just need.
Yeah, they are different areas and different everything, different showrunners. The Davids aren't back, so.
What are they doing? What are they doing these days? Because they wanted to leave, and that's why they wrapped up a lot of things.
Yeah, they were done. They were tired. I think they just, it was too much for them. I don't know what they're doing now. Actually, it's a good question. What are Ben White's doing?
The 2. Yeah, he's going to do 2 more novels. I heard he ended up getting COVID at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh no.
Yep. Termite is 3 guys from The Boys. Is the guys from The Boys. Yes, he is. The only problem is how will Omar log into Discord? Shut up. I'll use Amanda's account. What's up? What'd you find out?
They were doing they're not obviously not involved in Game of Thrones, but they've signed an overall deal with Netflix. Remember we talked about that too way back when Game of Thrones, the last season, how they weren't returning for any spinoffs. They were moving on. They signed a deal with Netflix. They're developing multiple projects. They produced a series called The Chair. They're currently filming the 3 Body Problem, a sci-fi show. And they also wrote the screenplay for Metal Lords, which I don't know if you've seen Metal Lords. It was on Netflix. Yeah.
It was David Linden. No, what were their names?
David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, I think.
I love those guys, man. And I know they did Wolverine Origin. But the way they treated Game of Thrones was so awesome. Like, I loved it. And somebody just reminded me, like, this is so true. I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I find it hilarious that the last season was apparently so bad that the show has completely left the cultural zeitgeist because of it. Absolutely. It hurts to talk about. It's so weird to talk about that show. That was the show that a new season would be premiere on HBO. I would go back and rewatch the previous seasons every single time up until like seasons 6 and 7 or whatever the final seasons were. It was like they loved the characters, and then out of nowhere, God damn it,
we're back.
All right, that's the last one I'm putting in. That's blocking using that. Thanks, Bloss. Hot take. I was fine with the end. It was the execution and getting there. That was the problem. Did I not block you? Are you a different person?
It's like they wanted to get it over with, and there could have been more episodes to draw out what happened.
Yeah, so that was my thoughts.
True.
So, anything else, Panda?
No, that's all I've got. I'm just looking forward to seeing. I can't wait. We got a month before D23. I think September 9th, 10th, 11th, something along those lines. So, of course, we'll get a bunch of Star Wars content. We'll get a bunch of Marvel content. We'll probably do a D23 show. Just talk about all the announcements when that comes out. And we'll have to look at everything coming out. Paper Girls that just came out, dropped all its episodes. Sandman comes out August 5th, I think. And then we have, what else? Lord of the Rings comes out soon, I believe. Not in August, but soon. She-Hulk's August 17th. So luckily that is episodic, so we don't have to worry about binging that. But we will be trying to catch up on some of this stuff and interlay some of our Was It Really That Bad in between there as well.
Look at James. Thank you, James.
August 21st, wow. House of Dragons, which thankfully that is also episodic. So no binging for Omar on that one either. Just for Paper Girls and Sandman, it looks like what we'd have to binge.
Honestly, being married to Melanie, I'd have to binge Sandman anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with binging Sandman, and I'm excited. I'm still a little bit worried, but still a little excited.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Thank you so much for the kind words, and please don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Yes, donate to the Mega Millions. That's right. Hit that like button. That will help. We have a lot of stuff coming out, and Amanda's moving, so we will keep an eye out on our social media for update.
Sorry, I got all kinds of things happening.
Man, all right, everybody, stay healthy and safe. Panda, sign us out.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at @NearMintCon. Remember to check us out on Spreadshop if you want some great Near Mint Condition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon for $1 a month and more. You can do great things. You can join our book club, which I actually got to participate in this week for the first time. And it was really cool. We did Wonder Woman Battle Earth, or Dead Earth. I'm getting all my stuff confused. And of course, like Omar said, we do have a Discord channel. And if you are on a tier of our Patreon, you can join the Discord channel. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already. And then last but not least, if it is classy and cool, it must be near mint. Good evening, everyone. Good journey. And we will see you all next week for Reelz Talk anyways.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll see Omar tomorrow.
You will. It's a live stream. And I'll be on an Australian show too. Oh, God, I got to get up early. You need that on a shirt, Amanda, if it's classy and cool.